So this is the main arrival area at the Cuban airport in Havana. And as you can see, they have modern taxis, but they also have lots of old vehicles that are coming and going as well. It's very prevalent. You can see some, if I can try and zoom in here to show you. I gotta steady my back. My luggage is about to fall over. Hold on. I don't know if you can see the blue one out there. Anyway, so not a lot of signs telling where to go. In this building straight ahead right here, there's basically where you can find a Cuba cell, as in Cuba cellular office, that'll give you the, has lots of options on how to connect. No permanent SIMs though. You can rent a SIM card, which is atrociously expensive, as well as you can buy like 1 hour, 1 hour equals $1 Wi-Fi usage. So you can buy but there's only 5 on per card. So that's the story here right now. We just got here, gray skies, lots of wind, and it is about 4 o'clock on Thursday, February 27th. So I'm in Holguin. You can see we got the old cars around here. Got our tour group right here, not my tour group. This is Parque de Flores in Holguin, and you can't really see a lot, but basically there's kind of the center of town, I think. I'm not 100% sure yet because it's my first day walking around, and we're going to show you a lot more as we go around. Just showing you what Holguin looks like from this restaurant we're about to eat at here. So not a lot of hills, pretty flat, pretty poor. They're still using horses around. So. So, took a little walk up these stairs right here to the top of Holguin. This is what you're looking at. The city of Holguin, Cuba. Okay. And I'm on a 360 elevation here, so you can see all the way around, but I'm not going to walk all the way around because it's not with the camera right now, just to show you what we got here. And to be honest, there really isn't a lot to see, but that's okay because it's Cuba. So this is basically the 3rd largest city in Cuba, is what I've heard. So that's all I know, and this is it. Not a lot. So I just walked 5-6 blocks from the place I'm staying at, and I didn't bring the selfie stick again. But as you can tell behind me, everything is just bombed out, destroyed. It's ugly, it's terrible, it hasn't been repaired, it hasn't been fixed. There happens to be a somewhat new car behind me instead of one of the old ones, but it's really a disaster. And this is, I think I'm pretty close to Old Town Havana. That's where I'm at right now. And should have said that before, sorry. But it's just bad. Like, I don't think I ever want to come back here again, and neither should you. It's Friday, March 6th. I just walked down the road a little bit just to show you this park that I'm at here, or this boulevard, or whatever it is. There's literally no cars on the street behind me. Almost, one or two, not that many. Indicative of the economy here. What's very interesting about Cuba, and most people think, oh, U.S. embargo. Well, get this: the Cubans actually have their own embargo on their own stuff. There's no reason for it, but they do. So even if it's allowed on like a U.S. embargo list, it may not be allowed on a Cuban embargo list. So, and I've heard from other Cubans, if the United States said no more embargo, done, they still wouldn't be able to get stuff because of the Cuban embargo inside the country. How terrible is that? How tough is that? So it's really bad. And as you can see right behind me here, there are old cars everywhere. Everywhere. It's incredible. It's like walking back in 1950s or the 1960s. And like half the cars on the road are from the 1950s. Pretty cool, but once you sit in them, piece of junk. There's nothing's been maintained. Only the outside. Some of them actually look pretty nice, but I haven't. I ridden one that was terrible. So, and it was a taxi, unofficial taxi. It was really interesting. Is the yellow taxis are basically rented cars from the government here, and so you can rent a taxi and be your own entrepreneur, but then you got to pay the government back for the cost of the taxi or renting it or something. Internet's a joke. You can buy 3 types of cards: a permanent SIM card, a temporary SIM card that you can rent, and then just like a Wi-Fi card that gives you, it's like $5 for 5 hours, $1 per hour, or one kook, which is a convertible. They call them kooks, convertible peso. But and that's another thing. They have two currencies. Total ripoff, because the normal currency is 26 to 1 every dollar, but then they got a 1 to 1 on the convertible. Well, guess what? That's ridiculous. Except for, I think, Hong Kong with the Hong Kong dollar and the Chinese yuan. And that was for a very specific reason back in 1997 when the English gave it back to the Chinese. That's why that's there. Otherwise, this doesn't exist at all except to rip off foreigners. I literally took $300, I put it in a machine to change it. It gave me back $260. That's about 13 to 14% take on an exchange rate. Basically, they're ripping tourists off to fund the government. This place needs a revolution, like yesterday. Pro-propaganda stuff from Fidel is everywhere, and that's fine, okay. But it's like, and how come they don't, if Fidel can have a revolution, why can't the next guy have a revolution? I don't understand it. Sorry, my finger got in the way of the camera there, I think. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, who wants to live like this? It's terrible. You can't. I was in the 3rd largest city of Old Green. I couldn't even buy a chocolate bar. Not even chocolate. You couldn't even find it anywhere. Nothing. Like, there's barely any food on the shelves. They got a lot of cigarettes and a lot of alcohol, but that's it. Not much else. So, very, very, very disappointing. I mean, who knew it was this bad? And I hate to say it, I think the Canadians got a big place to play in this, because there's a lot of Canadian tourists who come down here and they go to the all-inclusive resorts and they never see the rest of the country. I drove the rest of the country 10 hours. It's a long, and only because they were going 60 miles an hour, but I drove the rest of it, and let me tell you, it was terrible. It's just terrible. Like, basically it's just a big desert island is what this place is. Just a huge desert island. So I've only got a couple hours. I'm exploring this place, and thank God I'm only here for a couple hours because I'm leaving fast. So I just want to show you new and the old here. You can see the old cars are everywhere, and we got some new cars around too. This is probably the nicest building I've seen yet in this city. In fact, it may even be a church. I have no idea. Not the hotel, whatever this thing's with all the statues on it. The tourists are very prevalent, at least here in Havana. The rest of the country, you won't see one tourist anywhere. As I said in the previous one, I went through it, and they have a big 3-lane highway, both directions, in the kind of traveling throughout the country. At least half of going, basically dividing Cuba. Oh my God, this is a terrible video. I'm mispronouncing everything here. Dividing Cuba into half with this highway, and it runs right down the middle. Basically, Cuba is just a big flat desert island, and they've chopped down all the trees. There's really nothing out there. I mean, if it was tropical or jungle at one point, it sure as heck isn't anymore. And nobody's on the highway. In fact, there are lines for gas and diesel, and the lines are extensive. I've seen them, and very, very disturbing because you got to wait in line. And this is all over the country. So Cuba's got a lot of problems. So I've been walking around, and once again, old cars for rent everywhere. As you can see, beautiful condition, at least decent. They're all basically owned by the same company or same individual. I haven't figured out exactly the whole story. Up there, you can see the old naval fort called the Malecon. No, not the. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. The fort is. You guys want to be on YouTube? Mark, you want to be on YouTube? Okay. All right. Here's Mark. I met him. He's been walking around. Happy Canadian citizen, professional, award-winning photographer. Okay.
My mom loves all my pictures.
Yeah, and so you're going to tell me about the fort and the Malecon.
The Malecon is the seawalk along the ocean.
Okay.
It goes for 5 to 7 miles. I can't remember exactly how far it goes.
Okay.
But it's along the ocean. Most
Okay.
picturesque views.
Keep talking because I'm panning around here. Go ahead, keep going.
Then you want to pan that one.
I do, but I'm getting a park behind you. Go ahead, keep going.
And then all the seaside hotels to stay at.
Uh-huh.
Guys love, you catch some guys fishing off the side of it just with the big huge poles and stuff like that.
Okay, all right.
Later in the day, sometimes the waves will be crashed in like crazy. Awesome pictures at night. The clouds will come in. You have to hit it at golden hour.
Okay.
You know what golden hour is, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I know, but I'll...
Half price beers at the bar.
Golden hour, half price beer.
You know what blue hour is?
No, well, wait a minute. This is like this. We got to be. Is this friendly for all ages?
Friendly.
Okay.
Blue hour is when you miss golden hour.
Oh, okay.
So,
well,
anyway,
so
blue hour,
keep going. Yeah.
Always shoot blue hour. Always shoot golden hour.
Right.
So you have to get up and get those awesome shots.
So besides the shots, tell me more about the fort. What's the name of the fort?
I don't actually know much about the fort.
Oh, well, that's
kind
of a bust.
I was just reading earlier in the 1500s or something like that. The French came in and burned it down, so the British and Spanish burned down Havana. So the British and Spanish decided they needed to put a fort here.
Right, makes
sense. At the very end, we can't see it right now.
That's okay.
But they at 8 o'clock they shoot a cannon off.
Okay.
Every day.
Cool.
So
all right.
it's kind of cool. I haven't looked up on the fort too much.
That's
There's
okay.
forts on both sides of the harbor. This is the harbor right here.
Okay.
And then we'll walk down to the ocean and we'll get some shots of the ocean.
Sounds good. All right. Well, that's our update for now. And back to you, Bob. He's here that I met on the street, just walking around taking photos. And I don't know what that monument is, so I can't really tell you that much. The Evo Star right here, that building right there, as you can see with the black on it. So that's my little update. This is what so as I pan around, this is the Malecon, which is basically the seaboard walking area, and you can see over there. What's the name of that area, guys? It's the general name of that.
What's that?
What's the general name of the peninsula?
I don't know.
No, we don't know.
I saw the Malecon.
Yeah, we don't know the name of that peninsula over there with the hotels, but basically the big one with the two. See if I can pan in here. The two bell tower types on it. Back in 1959, when Fidel and everyone was having a revolution, apparently there were some rebels held up on there with RPG-like devices shooting out of the hotel down onto the military. So anyway, I'm heading back to my hotel because I gotta beat feet and get out of here. So we have another good example right here, these buildings, as you can see, of how much the city has deteriorated and new from old. And you know, just look at the devastation that's been wrought by years of neglect and basically embargo, both by Cuba and the United States. Just terrible. So hopefully someday everything will change, but for now it's ugly. So I'm on my way to the airport, and I thought I'd just show a little bit of Havana as we're driving along, and I'm going to hand the camera around now. Bombed out derelict building there. The colors are beautiful when they paint stuff. Usually they do a lot of teal and green in the city, which is very nice. It has a refreshing aspect to it. But other than that, you know, everything looks very run down. It's really sad that, you know, 2020 we're still in this sort of shape, this sort of condition. So I'm in a 1950s vehicle here. I think it's a Chevy. I have no idea exactly what it is, but I didn't get a chance to really look. It's not one of the ones that the tourists are driving around in. It's just my airport ride to the taxi. So, or taxi to the airport, I guess I should say. I hope no one's getting a little sick with my camera work here. I'm trying my best to steady it. I don't know, it's about a half-hour ride from my hotel to the taxi, and it wasn't really a hotel. It's called a Casa Particular, which means it's not run by the state at all. So I guess most hotels are run by the state with some sort of partnership, but I kind of doubt that the partnership is beneficial to the company. So I think that's why, besides the embargo, that's why there aren't many commercial, well, capitalism obviously is not sought after here at all. Here's a rather modern 1970s looking building. Who knows why? So I'm just taking a quick video of this Jaguar that's running right here.